any other government, I supported Omoyele Sowore, and I know a lot of you supported Peter Obi. They probably will have had to do the same exact things that this government is doing. The only difference is they will have served as the anesthesia while this economic surgery is going on. The youths were more connected to people like Peter Obi. And what did they stand to gain from Peter Obi? They would believe that, oh, whatever he's doing it in our best interest. The suffering might not have been in any way better. The only thing I believe a younger leader like Omoyele Sowore or Peter Obi would have done is gain the confidence of Nigerians in diaspora. Now I'm not talking about the big companies. I am talking about the young man in Canada who's earning $100,000 a month, a year, I beg your pardon, and wants to bring that money to invest in Nigeria. The young nurse who's earning $70,000 a year in the United States of America, wanting to bring a chunk of her money to invest in the future of Nigeria. I'm talking about the billions of dollar revenue in the hands of young and average Nigerians in diaspora who don't love being in diaspora but want to come home. But come home to what? A younger leader like Omoyele Sowore or Peter Obi would have given them that confidence. That confidence, in my humble opinion, is what I see is lacking in this current government.
Quite frankly, we will all come to this realization in no distant time. A lot of us are getting it this early, but even those that are not believing, in a couple of months or years, we will get to realize that we made a big mistake. Of course, not everybody voted Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but those that voted and those that refused to have done one or two things to stopping this would realize, right? This is not a video to bash Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze did not support him in Lokon, right? He was just a media person. He said in that video that he supported Omoyele Sowore to be president. So that's fair enough, right? However, this would not help to balance it. Plus and minus the point that Daddy Freeze gave, which involved the support of young people to going through this time that Peter Obi, the person that they voted for or we voted for, would have brought up. There are several other things, and permit me, I'll look at about 6 or 7 or 8 of the things that Peter Obi would have done differently. If I were you, I would share this video. A lot of persons have been asking, so what would Peter Obi do differently? What would he have done differently? I'm going to share with you, based on research and understanding and study, of basic things that we know without being rocket science, of the things that are basic and fundamentals that a man that has a thinking cap on like Peter Obi would have done different. Number one, he would have cut down costs of governance. I think that is one of the most important things that this government refused to do. You know, it was a couple of weeks ago that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was saying that people that are traveling, he still went on to traveling. The SUVs that went on to ministers and went on to legislators, the houses that were renovated that were not necessary, the new cars that were bought, the private jet that are lavishing in the various hangars that are not being useful, they would have been sold off. The unnecessary SSAs and aids of government would have been almost useless. Peter Obi would have cut down cost of government. Now, let me tell you, this usually has direct and indirect implications. Direct because it will put more money in the hands of government revenue to take care of certain things. And indirectly, it will show to the people that you are bearing in their burden as well. You understand with them. Imagine saying that the country is going through a tragic turmoil like this, and then a man is flying around the world. A man has got several. There are legislators who are driving a 160 million naira SUV, and then you are seeing that the people understand. It's difficult. It doesn't correlate. It's not corresponding. To say a man that is under AC enjoying all the largesse of being a media aide or a presidential aide or being an appointee is not telling a common man who is suffering in the street that understand with us. You see, that's number one. Number two, the second thing that, yes, maybe Peter Obi, like Daddy Free said in this video, would have also removed subsidy because, like he has said in all his encounters, it is a criminal coordination, it is a criminal situation. Two things I would have done. Number one, He would have ensured that there are the persons that have been involved in this scam, in this criminal situation, would have been brought to book. People would have been going to jail, some would be going to court, several litigations, several revelations would have been done. But of course, you just came and remove subsidy. And then there have been several disclosure of the fact that this subsidy has been a mirage, has been suspended, is not working, is working. So it would have brought them to book. And that would have given the people some level of respect. I think that's something that this government is here to do, right? Apart from the witch-hunting of a former EFCC boss and Godwin Emefiele, you would have seen that the main people, the main corporates, the thieves of the government are still quite being petted. And then secondly, finally on this subsidy, palliative would have been put out to cushion the effect of, you see, when you run a socialist government and then you claim to run a government that is not just in business, or is in the business of bettering the lives of people, you don't throw them out against the sun. Even God Almighty, in seeing the effect or impact of the sun, created a layer, the ozone layer as it were, that is supposed to protect the earth and then against the sun. We hear that several conditions and situations and several human activities is destroying the ozone layer, and that's why we are seeing the amount of climate change we are seeing these days. Leave all that for the experienced geologists and all the people in charge of that to do all that. But my interest about this, right, is the fact that the government removed subsidy and did not do anything possible to have helped the people to cushion the effect. There are no security in the interiors, in rural areas where people should be able to go back and farm and be confident enough that they'll be safe. There are very few link roads from the rural areas to the city. As I talk to you, major roads like the Benin, Abuja, Okene, Benin Express Road is bad, and this is supposed to be a major. So you see, the government talked about CNG buses. Still today, there is none. And then before you make our plans to do that kind of public theatre, like Bola Ahmed Tinubu did on inauguration day and said they have removed subsidy, you would have, at least you had time. You won the elections. There were days before that. Sat with your team and create palliative measures that would help to sever the pressure of this problem on the people. Number 3, more human effect would have been added to our security forces, the army, the police, with more technical aid, of course, with more advanced security architecture, right, would have been reproduced to helping us secure it. One of the primary problems we have in our society is that we have deepening insecurity issues, and the government seems to be doing nothing. Forget about this clown called Kazim Shettima that said that he is going to be in charge of security, while Bola Ahmed Tinubu in charge of economy. Two of them, zero, inept, daft people that don't even know what they are doing. But then and a couple of hours ago, I saw a video of him claiming that it is sabotage. And that's when you were planning to get to government, another day. So you see, our security architecture needs to be revisited. So there needs to be employment. I'm telling you about people that are passionate about the security of this country. And if you check, for those of you that have traveled around the world, you will know that there are certain sectors that the government of every country do not joke with. Number 1 is their security, because if you have lost security, you have lost everything. If you have lost the territorial integrity of your environment or your country, you have lost everything. If outsiders, infidels can infiltrate your systems, they can do anything. And then if it's not safe, it's not safe. Number 2 is education. Most countries take, and that's why there is free education in several developed society, but people pay for it. The taxes and the levies and the fines on all other people culminate in what they use in taking care of education, because education is pretty important. This country do not take education serious. Then of course, thirdly is healthcare, and by that ab initio, care for the elderly, the vulnerable, the poor, the needy, all that put together, healthcare, as it were, so to speak. You see, very importantly, and ask yourself, these 3 things I mentioned, how do we claim to be a country that is for the people, a socialist society, and we do not put any of these things into cognizance. So that's the third one. Security, more persons have been employed, more tactics, more technical aid, more input, more conversations around how we can have. It's not just enough to say community police. As at best, state police would be a tool for state governors to oppress people that offend them or that do not speak their same political language and rig elections. That's that best it would be. To not be to ask yourself, these local vigilantes that have been created by communities and states, what has been the effect? What is the roadmap? What is the plan actually? Then number 4, there are many Nigerians, with all due respect, that have been involved in a lot of this hoarding of the dollar, hoarding of foreign currencies, doing a lot of buying and selling and creating rancor around certain of these our currency valuations and all that. Get them off, deal with them, turn them to scapegoats at least. A lot of them would have been sitting up their ass, crying over a lot of the things that are happening. That way, you see, nobody would do that nonsense. Nobody. They're just speaking English. Emefiele did this, Emefiele did that. Who are the people that did it? How many of these bank CEOs? A lot of these big guys. Of course, some of them supported the sitting president, so it's enough for it to leak away. But a Peter Obi government would not have, because thank God none of them supported it. So it would have been enough to say, you were involved in this, you have been involved in this, you are doing this, you are doing that. Technically, a lot of these things would have been dealt with. Number 5, the man would have spoken to the youth. As I talk to you today, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is speaking above the youth. Is he speaking grammar? He's here to communicate to the youth the language that they understand. Action plan roadmap of what are we do, what we are doing, what has not been done, in agreement to what I have failed to do. That is the point. That's what leadership is. Agree on all these sides. Then, of course, number 6, he would have engaged the best of them. You see all these political friends of Wike, a lot of all these guys that are masquerading, the Keyamus, the Wale Edun, these are just political jobbers. Of course, Reno Mokri, Femi Fanikayo, the Daniel Boya are now on queue waiting for their own appointment. You don't need them. Nigerians have got intellect in various fields around the world. Peter Obi would have attracted diaspora effects of intellectual Nigerians coming to, with their years of experience and education, coming to help this country. And number 7, which will be my last for now, there'll be a lot of foreign remittances. As I talked to you, one of the biggest challenges of this government is that the current CBN governor, Cardoso, who I said a couple of days ago that his job is the second hardest job to do on it. I don't know the first. Maybe thinking Tinubu will be the first. But let me tell you, what these guys have done in the CBN is to lock up the system, not to have dollar available. So people that are supposed to go to school, people that are supposed to travel, people are supposed to use dollar so that they can't get dollar, because their own way of trying to ensure that nobody leaves this country and nobody has a reason to do business abroad. But what does that imply? The people abroad too, as I talk to you, Western Union, Send Wave, MoneyGram, they are finding it difficult. Some say there is even almost impossible for them to send dollar and you get dollar. So what they do is to convert it to Naira for you. And they convert it to Naira in bank rate. Listen, they convert that money to Naira in bank rate, not black market rate. Usually when they give you your dollar, you can take it to the black market and do exchange and get your money. Now there is about, as it were, about 400, 500, 600, if not more, cut off because you have to do bank rate. What that means is that people abroad are no longer sending dollars or foreign money back home or foreign currencies back home. And foreign remittances is one of our highest revenue collection, highest, because there's so much money in it. So when Nigerians do no longer send money back home, there's no money available for the people to use, so to speak, because this money that comes, the alternative sources for help for these most Nigerians, right, that are here, their brothers, their sisters, their friends want to send them money. These guys are no longer sending money, so they are stock up the money with them because there are no means to send them, and even if they should, it's going to make them lose. So nobody is sending. The Peter Obi's government would have made it freely, and all these things you are hearing that nurses should not travel, they should not be given license after 2 years to stop people from doing. Peter Obi would have encouraged a lot of Nigerians, like he has said in some of his videos, if we can become the hub of nurses around the world, nurses in this world, see, we can begin to produce the amount of nurses. We have the population to produce the amount of nurses that the world needs. We export nurses all around the world. And when they get around the world, they begin to bring foreign remittances and they begin to bring investment back here. Because there are many Nigerians. Unfortunately, the people that are abroad that campaigned for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as I talk to you now, none of them has gone to invest one thing in this country. To say they have invested in Nigeria, they have employed 20 persons. But they campaigned for a man they don't trust. They knew that, of course, the government would be Ulabalu. Of course, the town hall. And now they have abandoned him. A Peter Obi government would have allowed Nigerians there are Nigerians who have got billions of naira in foreign currencies, billions of dollars around the world. If they have a government that they trust and that speak their language, they will take their money back home and invest it in various infrastructure, various developmental plans, various organizations, various institutions, in various systems, and all this will have direct and indirect effects on the economy. Employment will be gained, more money in circulation, more opportunities, and then at the end of the day, I don't know. Anybody else again what Peter Obi have done? Show them this video. I'm out of here.